Welcome back, everybody. It's D with these tackle box, and I got a cool little video today. We're gonna be talking about one of my favorite brands, Heddon, of course. I love the Topwater stuff, so you already know where this is going. If you don't know anything about the Heddon brand and the models and all that good stuff, stay tuned, as we're gonna talk a little bit about the Zara Spook, and then one of the favorite patterns that everybody recognizes. It's the bullfrog, and we got a couple of different models so that we can talk to you about the time that they were made, and hopefully we can help y'all identify a couple of the lures that you got in your tackle box and date them so that you can know more or less what makes the difference between each one and what year each one was made or each model was made, and that way you can put some kind of order if that's what you're looking to do, and if not, so at least you know which one is your favorite and you can concentrate on finding some more of those to add to your collection. So stay tuned. We'll get right into this. Welcome back, everybody. It's Steve with these tackle box. Like I mentioned before, we're gonna get right into this, man. We got some Heddons here laying on this board that we're gonna be talking about, and I'm gonna show you all a little bit about more or less when they were made, and so you can see kind of the differences as they went along the years. And to kick things off, we're not gonna do a lot of chit-chatting and all that, man. My voice is a little bit still, you know, rough from the last week or so, just being down with this weather, you know. But we did want to show you a couple of different lures so that you can physically see it here visibly when it comes to the Zara Spook. Now, guys, I know a lot of you have one of these in your tackle box, maybe not this exact same model. This one's a little tough one with the gold eyes and the nose tie. It's got a clear belly with the silver scale. This is your Heddon Zara Spook. And so if you guys are looking at collecting these, or if you're looking at which one fishes better, this is going to be the episode for you guys. Because from what I've gathered right now so far, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different models sitting on this table right now. And I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about each one. But I definitely want y'all to pay attention to the different details. See, you can see on this one right off the bat, it's very horizontal, the way the features are. The nose tie being just very horizontal with the lure. So for you, those of you that know what the Zara Spook is famous for, you know that it does the dog walking. And so, as y'all can tell, this one would, to me, have a little bit of a harder time being able to do that, since it lays so horizontally, and just the action of the pull, I think, would be a little bit tougher to get that sucker to sway that way, you know. But this is your earlier model. This is a I believe this is 1948 to 1950s mix, somewhere around that area of time being made, and you can tell by the gold eye. I'm going to show you the one that comes after that. Is from the 1960s models, and you can see the difference. It still has the nose tie, but it's got the painted eye. It's white with the black pupil, and it still has that same nose tie that goes horizontally, but it has a different setup, as you can tell. Like, the body itself even looks a little bit warped or something like that. The same text on a horizontal type layout when you put them vertically, but the actual pattern and everything is pretty much the same. The nose tie, this one over here has a little plate right there. Let me see if I can get this thing to focus so y'all can see this. This one doesn't. This one is almost like a line through type nose tie on it. These two, this is your 1950s, this is your 1960s. Now, along with that 60s model comes a little bit of a newer one there, so you can see it a little bit better. So they change and some of the condition, you can tell, you know, this one's older. probably early 60s, mid 60s here. The stenciling, the color, the yellow on this is a little bit of a darker yellow. This is a brighter yellow. And you can still see the little cap on that nose piece there on both of them. And you can kind of see a little bit of a slight different angle on that one here. After this, right here in the 60s, and you're gonna see that in the 50s they had the golden eye as opposed to the painted colored eyes and stuff like that. This is one of the details that designates time and time of being made, or the era that they were made in. The gold eye earlier, the white eyes are later. So the 60s, then you got your 70s. I believe this was mid 70s. You can see how they altered the hardware. Now the hardware here comes very different from the 60s models. You can see the nose tie is different. This is a heavy duty type setup. It's embedded in here. It's not the screw-in type. You can see, check that out. You can see the brass type of hardware that they put on there. I think it's brass. See? Heavy duty, got the big O-rings on there. The split rings or whatever. And on the tail, they were even put together differently. See the surface hardware set up on that? And this one has like a heavier duty in the body type of hardware. So this here I think was made 74, 75, 76, somewhere around there, or ran through that time. And then after that they went to the late 70s model, because this one here, the late 70s, looks almost like that 60s that I was showing you, right? Nose tie and all. But this one has the text in a horizontal pattern when the lure is vertical. And these have the actually I think I got it upside down for you guys. These have the text horizontally when the lure is set horizontally as well. And you can see the seam there too. You can see a seam on these, which differentiates a lot from these. See the text on there? So that'll help you figure out your age progress on each one. So 50s, golden eye, nose tie. 60s, nose tie, horizontal text. Early 70s, a little bit of the difference in hardware. Text is different on that one. And you go to your later 70s, and that's the ones that most people are used to seeing. The eye color changes as well. Now, after the late 70s comes the late 70s, early 80s, and this is by far one of my favorites, and a lot of people prefer this one here. This one is your original Swayback, not the ones that they made in 2004. These are your original lures that had the body segmented, and you can see the line right here where this seam right here runs into where the hardware goes. So if you look at this, you can see that it's got a little bit of a slight angle that points upwards at the head. Well, that is, my friends, what you call the original Swayback Spook. This is the one that a lot of people like to fish because it has a great action when you're doing the walk the dog. This little piece here tends to, I don't know if it just, the way the buoyancy sets on the lure, it wobbles a lot nicer. You know, the text on there says original Heddon Zara Spook. That's different, ain't it? But now you can see the difference between this one and the one that came before that with the nose tie. See the straightness on this one here and the curved piece on the head on this one? See? You can compare. This one here, guys, is the one that, this is the one that does it for me. After that, let's say 70s, late 70s, 80s, comes this fat bodied one here, which also says on their original Heddon Zara Spook. But on these, oh come on, focus. On these here, you can see the body is just nice and chunky all the way around. See, there goes your original Zara Spook Swayback. And the Swayback is pretty much, I don't want to say it's accidental, but it's something that happened because of this seam. So when this seam kind of shrunk, this head seems to pop up a little bit. And I'm going to show y'all something that I got over here on the desk real quick that will show you what it was doing or why they did that. Now, if you like the natural patterns, here in the 80s, they also had the leopard frog. So the bullfrog was one, and this one right here, my friends, is the leopard frog, and Charlie Campbell edition at that. So 80s version got the chin tie as well. If you notice on the other ones, what we were talking about, late 70s, they had the nose tie up here. These have the chin tie, and that has also to do with the fat body one that I showed you, and the original Swayback Spook. Now, let me see, somewhere here I have one of the older ones. This would be your 70s, and you can see what the plastic was doing. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Right there at the seam. That seam right there is the seam that I was telling you about. Where you see that line right there, you can kind of see it right there. Look. Right there. Right here, you can see that seam. Well, that seam would end up bloating. And these earlier plastics, they didn't stand up well to that. This is where the head got lost on this one. And you can see the effect. Look at that. I mean, it's pretty cool to have some of these pieces so that we can examine them and see what they were doing and how they ended up the way they did. I mean, this is a pretty cool example of how the plastic was so unstable that a lot of times it cost Heddon trial and error so that they can get it right, you know. But there's a lot of lures like that early on when the makers were first going into plastic after wood, where we have lures that kind of almost disintegrated completely. I got a couple of them back there too that, you know, will show you a couple of different plastic decomposition stages. So as we go throughout this collecting thing and all this, you know, lure hobby and all the good stuff that we find, you're going to learn how to tell the difference from the years they were made, the earlier ones, the tougher ones, the rarer ones, things like that. And I'm going to be here to try to teach y'all a little bit about that stuff and hopefully learn from you guys too. So till next time, this is D signing off. Fish out. You guys want to see something really cool as a little bonus? This is a Heddon tiny chugger. So is this. Notice something different in one of them? Just so you know, this is a common one. Well, not that common because it's a clear color. It's a common one because it has the black spot. This one is a different code for the clear. I think this one is the X when you look at color codes, because it does not have the spot. This one is worth more than this one is by quite a bit. Let's say if you were selling them on eBay or something and dirt cheap, $5 to $10, 15, 20 bucks. Just so you know, save those little tips. Another little tip from these tackle box to you guys.